Coming into your ears live from a basement in New Jersey.
But it's not live.
It's not live, though. The Scott and Smiz Show.
And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first ever edition of the Scott and Smiz Show podcast. Of course, my name is Anthony Smizaski.
And I am Scott Lind.
And it's really nice to finally get us on the air here. This has been a long time coming. Me and Scott are very long time friends.
Very long time.
Yes, and needless to say, I'm very ready for this experience because we want to have a show where the conversation never stops.
Never stops.
Never
Always
stops.
continues with guests. Topics always change. And, the mood always stays up.
Right. We see the show as a blank canvas. The conversation can go in any sort of direction. And the topics are going to range from news to pop culture to music to sports. You know, a crazy story we've heard or a crazy story that we've experienced. And,
Local news.
Local news, national news. We're going to be getting to the headlines in a little bit.
International news.
International news. Wow, we're getting a little extreme here already.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be our own regular CNN.
We don't have that
network,
news desk for any reason,
Yeah, I guess we should fire those interns.
Yeah.
Our lovely interns here that we
I'll
don't
bring it
have.
out.
We have our lovely audience, very close friends of ours. One of them is going to be joining us on the air today. Our friend Christina Smith. Take it from us, she'll always make the conversation real interesting.
Yes, she will.
So I think it's a good time to go into a couple of the new headlines that are going on today. And one of them that I wanted to talk about was our governor, Chris Christie.
The fat man himself.
The fat man himself.
The Penguin.
The Penguin has announced his candidacy for President of the United States.
And here's where I get pissed off.
Really?
Pissed off.
Please share.
Okay. So, I've learned recently by talking to people who aren't from our lovely state of their personal opinions on Chris Christie.
Mm-hmm.
And they think he's a great guy, Hurricane Sandy, he was there. Yeah, he was there.
Right.
But there's a lot of other things that he messed up on.
That's for sure.
A lot of other things. And we could sit here all night.
Laundry
and,
list.
Yeah, bicker and go back and forth about the amount of things that he's done wrong. But my opinion being that when he ran for the position he's in now, he put up this big facade as to who he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And now look what we know him as.
Right.
So little do the rest of the American people know that the facade he's going to put on when he gets into office is not nearly going to be the reality that we will experience.
The interesting thing, though, is that, I wouldn't even necessarily call it a facade because he's coming out. His campaign slogan is telling it like it is. And if you look at his...
He never told it like it was, though.
Right. It's more of, I'm going to do what I want to do, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's kind of his perspective on things. And, he comes across as a, they like to say he's tough. He's a big tough guy, right? But he's not a tough guy. He's mean. And he's
a bully.
Right, there you go. That's the exact word I was looking for, a bully. And that's something that really is, going to totally be something that comes up during the campaign, in my opinion. And I really wonder when you got someone like Donald Trump along with him, going to be running against him.
Those are two...
The first thing, though, is who would have thought everyone thought that the strongest speaker was going to be Chris Christie coming into this Republican primary.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to be Donald Trump.
That's the biggest mouth of them all.
Exactly.
It just depends on what toupee he decides to wear that day. So, Donald Trump, he's always been a voice, and he's noted and known for his voice. His catch slogan, "You're fired."
Right.
Stupid shit like that.
Right. And keep in mind, we're not saying a good voice or a bad voice. No. He's just a voice.
He's a voice. He's a well-known voice, and especially for our generation when we were younger, and my brother's generation, he was a household name.
Yeah.
Everybody knew who Donald Trump was.
Still is.
Yeah.
Even with all the deals that he's been losing in the process with Univision and NBC and Macy's.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that because a lot of what he's doing right now, how he's actually getting involved for this race, he can't really have any ties to these organizations?
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just, keep in mind, I can't imagine how this guy has not hired a campaign manager of sorts to kind of like structure what he's going to say in his first speech, because coming out the gate, his first speech that he announces, he's already just he's throwing Mexicans under the bus,
Exactly.
claiming them
a campaign manager is something that would get in the way of his personality, I think.
Right, and Donald Trump can't even take that. Chris Christie could take that.
Yeah.
But you know, someone like Donald Trump, I guess he's gonna tell it like it is.
He will tell it like it is.
Whether people like it or not.
The thing is, he's telling it like it is in his opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
and the thing is that his opinion in this culture, this day,
that's going to reflect
extremely
on him
unpopular.
Poorly. It's going to reflect on him very poorly.
And the thing is, it's not going to just reflect on him poorly. It's going to reflect on the party.
Exactly.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how that all turns out. The one other thing that I wanted to talk about in this first segment, changing subjects here, moving on over to sports a little bit, is a man called Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
and you don't know, Jason Pierre-Paul plays defense for the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants, and big name player. Was about to sign a pretty hefty contract and gets caught up in a fireworks incident. And according to reports from ESPN and the like, he got his index finger amputated.
Yes, now see, this is where it gets interesting. And I'm sure a lot of people who watch SportsCenter, you know, they'd be able to also tell you that depending on how much of his finger he actually did get amputated is what's really going to affect him during his playing time. You know,
Right.
If it's just the tippity tip of his finger that we're talking about, he's going to be okay. You know what I mean? He's not going to be very affected by it. But if this man went off and blew off his whole fucking finger,
Yeah.
all right, that's another story. All right,
Yeah.
you know, he's he just took all the money out of his pocket because he was probably a little tipsy, messing around with some fireworks, and blew his shit off.
Yeah.
So
That little piggy ain't never coming
yeah,
back.
when the smoke cleared, so did his bank account. You know.
Yes, and that's another big thing, because keep in mind, he never signed any of these deals with the New York Giants yet. So his big multi-year
That's
contract
also
deal.
because he was very, very salty towards the New York Giants.
Yes, extremely. He was, in my opinion, a little bit greedy, because he was offered this big multi-year deal and didn't immediately go sign it. He was still looking for more money.
Yeah, I mean, you could say some of his antics were a bit, you know, prima donna-ish.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what happened. And
But listen, the guy got caught up in a bad situation.
extremely.
He
a dumb
blew up
situation.
his fucking hand while he was trying to be a prima donna, and it's obviously not working out in his favor, because when the Giants tried to send somebody down there to see him, he said no.
Yeah.
You know, and they sent down somebody from their training. You know, they could have sent down somebody a little more important, a little more higher up the pole.
Send down the coach.
Exactly. So it seems like they care, and not just like they're concerned with getting him back on the field.
Right, but I think that, you know, they sent down people related to Giants' health.
Exactly.
Well, those are the people that really matter in that situation to determine whether or not
but
he's going to be.
You can't flood a guy like that with that type of shit, especially when he's in the middle of not even liking the team he's with.
Right, and I think that's the reason. I think it's because he doesn't have any contractual obligations to this team at the moment. He's
Exactly.
technically a free agent, not
Yeah.
really, because they could still put the franchise tag on him.
Well, how about your boy LeBron? Was what he signed?
Oh, LeBron James. Well, he just signed
He's set. What, you got a guaranteed 45?
well, it
something
was
like that?
I believe it was a 2-year, I want to say $49 million deal, but but it's the same thing. It's pretty similar to the
But I'm pretty sure he's guaranteed like 45.
Really.
Yeah. I think I heard that somewhere today.
Because what happened was it was the same thing that happened the following the previous year. I'm sorry, when he came back to the Cavaliers, was he signed this 2-year contract with the option to opt out after the first year.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the same. That's kind of the same thing that happened this time around.
LeBron, unlike a lot of the other players in the NBA, he's made so much money throughout his career, and he still makes so much more money off the court than he does annually on the court. You know what I mean? So the amount of money that he's making off the court simply gives him the ability to say, oh, well, listen, I don't have to take this. You know, I don't have to take this offer. I don't like this offer. It isn't enough.
Right.
You know, he's making hundreds of millions of dollars already. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really interesting to see how that's going to really turn out, especially for the Cavaliers. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, my boy LeBron.
Agreed.
Although I am a Knicks fan at heart. You
Yeah.
know, and they look, they definitely look real rough, to say the least. But I'm not going to get too much into details with the sports aspect of it. We have Christina Smith coming on with us in a little bit in our next segment. She's going to be talking about Electric Zoo, I believe it's called. I could be completely wrong about that name, but she went to Michigan.
I'm not too big into that scene either.
I'm not big into the scene either.
I respect the scene. I've joined it, you know, occasionally. Weekend warrior status.
I think it's me. I just can't hang that long. You know,
man,
that is a really
party.
Well, you gotta. I mean, all the way out to Michigan, you're going out to go on a crazy party like that.
Michigan.
Mr. Scott Lynn, ladies and gentlemen. He tends to break into a lot of musical numbers.
I want to love you, PYT, pretty old thing.
And he also tends to break out into multiple different, I guess you can call them alter egos of sorts. If that's the proper word, I'm not sure. You have a lot of accents, I guess. A lot of impressions, characters. That's the word.
Characters.
I mean, we all remember Charles.
But that comes from years of stage experience.
Stage experience. Oh boy, watch out.
Yeah.
This guy's coming from the big stages of
Cliffside Park High School.
Cliffside Park High School. You know, we're talking the big time. The big time.
No.
Yes, that's
bullshit.
real legit. Yeah. Where I don't think you did any accents at that time in Cliffside Park High School. They all came out when you were live from a basement in New Jersey, like you are right now.
Yeah, actually across the room.
Yes, exactly. We've been known to do many prank calls in the past. Who knows? Maybe we're going to be doing one of them on the air someday.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? This show is as spontaneous as it can possibly be. We're gonna just see how it goes here, especially when Christina Smith arrives and joins us here on the air. Well, she is actually here already.
She's in the back break room.
Yeah, in our break room, aka the couch.
Partaking in
over there.
Some.
Yeah, that's something that people really want to hear.
I love it.
You do love it. You gotta love it. Yeah. And we're gonna take a break right after this, as Christina arrives and takes a seat, and we'll be right back. Keep it here, the Scott and Smith Show.
Don't you go nowhere. Hey guys, got anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to bring up? Any good topics? Well, if so, or if you have any good feedback, you can see us online at facebook.com/Scott and Smiz.
And we're back from a short break.
Yes, an extremely short break.
No, it wasn't that short.
No, it was pretty short though.
No, I'm Smizzy.
You are a liar, my friend.
I'm Smizzy.
I am Smizzy. You are not
Smizzy.
Smizzy either. You are Christina Smith, and welcome to the Scott and Smith Show. You are the inaugural guest for the Scott and Smith Show, so feel special.
Thank you very
Feel
much.
special for the tens of people. I hope tens of people are listening to this, because
10
means someone
is
listened.
a pleasure.
I know Smizzy's gonna put this shit up everywhere, so
It's
Loyal fans will listen.
people are gonna be like, "Where's it gonna go?" It's gonna
Hey,
go everywhere.
Mom.
There's definitely one old guy in New Brunswick that listened to us a couple times.
He's like, hey, what's
Fingers
up?
crossed.
Hello.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Hope you're listening, old guy.
That's the market we're going for right now.
The old people?
Old guy in New Brunswick.
AARP. Old man.
AARP. All
Good
day.
shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, all day.
Diabetes.
So, Christina. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Christina. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
And I'm sure that you have plenty of experience. We haven't seen each other in about a couple weeks.
It's been a while.
You've been
I've been away.
You've been on quite a wild ride. I was mispronouncing it before. I called it Electric Zoo.
And you're wrong.
I'm
It's
dead
Electric
wrong.
Forest.
Electric Forest.
Electric
It's a forest.
This
Not a
ain't,
zoo.
this ain't
I
no
like
zoo. This is a
zoos.
forest.
Plug into trees.
Even
Like
worse.
forest is better. Definitely.
Leaves.
Leaves. Trees, yo.
Dirt.
Is the tree green? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yo, I really didn't though.
I got a question.
Okay, ask away.
If a bear shits in the woods, will anybody smell it?
Deep.
If you fall in it.
Did that happen at Electric Forest?
It did actually.
Oh, no.
I wanted
bear
to say
shit.
this was the best for last.
Love bear shit.
But I mean, you know, come to topic, I would like to, I guess, announce it now. The best part about Electric Forest, Alex Montero drunkenly fell into horse shit.
Now, for the people who don't know who Alex Montero is, would you care to describe him in a couple adjectives? If you're not, I'll gladly do it for you.
Very nice, politeful man who's super ratchet and drunk.
Yes, there we go. Alex
Drunken
Montero, the
man.
Shout out to him.
Lost him for 3 hours, shows up randomly, pops into our tent, and we're like, yo, it smells like shit. We shine the light on him because obviously it's dark out, you know. We shine the light and he has just like horse poop all over himself. He's like, yeah, I fell into horse shit. Meanwhile, there's only 4 horses in the entire place.
In the entire fucking forest.
In the entire forest, there's only
I didn't
4.
even know there were any horse in the forest.
Well, okay, there's police officers patrolling. It's a big area, camp area, you know.
So they got 4 police officers.
No, there's plenty of police officers who are happy that you're there. Like, it's really weird. They're like high-fiving you. They're like, yeah, have
Well,
fun.
because they got a damn good shift for that weekend because they are working a festival.
Yeah, so this festival...
Nobody wants to make trouble at a festival, man.
Yeah, this festival is in Rothbury, Michigan, which is a very small town. It's like 15 hours away. It took 15 hours to get there.
That's quite a drive. It's a far cry from North Jersey.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we took a lot of, you know, pit stops, but, you know, a comfortable drive is about 15 hours.
Oh, not bad.
So
Actually, pretty bad.
yeah, it was terrible.
You would not in a car and be like, hey, let's go to Michigan.
Let's go to Michigan.
It's only 15 hours away.
Yeah, it's definitely not a place that you would just
Definitely
pick
like
up and go
$150
to.
in tolls. Like,
Jeez.
Yeah, what was fun is that I learned from a lot of people in the area. Believe it or not, I met a lot of people from Minnesota.
I'd like to go there.
They're called the Minnesota Nice Guys. They are literally the nicest people ever. They jump-started our car twice.
They must be Canadian.
You know what?
No, they're obviously from Minnesota.
They're Minnesota for sure.
Scott Linder, resident Canadian, ladies and gentlemen.
They the way that they described like how to determine what part of Michigan you're in is like with your hand. Because Michigan is supposed to be like the shape of a hand.
Yeah, I've seen that, and then it's got.
And then you point to where you are. It's like over here. by
Isn't there
your
like that
pinky.
extra area though, like
and ring
beyond the
finger.
hand?
Great Lakes.
Yeah, I'm right like 5 minutes away from the Great Lakes. It's very, very close.
Wow.
Great Lakes
That
are
is-
very great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with the horses,
I only think they're good.
you were able to like pet the horses. You know, it was like really wild. But it's like metaphorically awesome. The fact that Alex Montero fell into horse shit.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. What
Really though.
did he have good luck at least?
I mean, the whole trip was amazing. I think he fell into the
Any other
The
types of shit?
feces. No, that was the only type of shit we fell into.
Oh, that's very fortunate.
Collectively, because we all had to experience it, because we had to like wipe
you
him
fall
down
into
with
any
baby
metaphorical
wipes.
shit?
It's quite disgusting.
Wait, so he never had one change of clothes?
No, we had a lot, but like, hey, there's no showers. I mean, there is, but you got time limits for it.
Yeah, like even if you fall on that stuff and you change your clothes.
We wasted a whole thing of baby wipes on him. He was clean at the end of the day. Really, we made it. But
Now everybody's got a dirty ass because they got no baby wipes though.
we came stacked. We were over prepared. Nah, but what was really great is that like the idea of like heading over to the forest, it was like pretty much an entire like tailgating aspect to it.
How long was it?
It was 4 days long.
4 days.
Yeah. 4 days. It started Thursday.
Kind of did that for 4 hours.
Oh my god, it was hours turned into days. One day was like 5 days. It was amazing.
But it was 4 days.
It was 4 days long where you sit there and you camp. And the idea of it was before you even enter like, you know, the actual camping experience, everyone is tailgating. So everyone is outside sitting on top of the cars. There was literally a guy sitting on a lawn chair on top of his truck drinking beers. People were going around with the wine, you know, slapping the bag.
Oh,
and
the
going
box
around,
of wine?
Box of wine.
yes,
Everyone.
the classiest drink out there.
Franzia.
A good old Franzia, yeah.
Yeah, 7:30 in the morning. Exactly what I want to see is slapping the bag.
Slap her the bag.
Yeah, it took almost at 7:30 in the morning. It took about an hour and a half to get
get
into.
drunk.
No, I mean
That's a pretty long time.
That's how
Considering the amount of people, 40,000 people getting into this festival, it took a lot less than an hour and a half to get drunk with the people around us, really.
And I'm sure everyone's really
Were the
festive.
majority of these people like from the Midwest? Like there weren't a lot of people from our area?
There was a lot of people from Philly. Most people that I met were from Chicago and Minnesota.
Chicago.
I met 4 people from Denver, and there was an entire 2 cars full of Californians.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
and-
people went on an adventure for
Yeah,
this.
but you know what? At the end of the day, it's really actually worth it. Like this festival, it's not like any other festival. Like road tripping there, being there, camping there. It's like entirely worth it. It's about like $330, almost $400, but for 4 days, $100 a day, it's worth it.
That
It's actually
is-
less. It's less than worth it.
Wow.
You know, because there's so much going on. Like, after the fact that you're literally tailgating, so you can go to any other camp and you can go into them and everyone is just so happy and inviting. It's an entire different experience.
Definitely sounds different than a lot of other festivals, like Summer Jam, like the one that you went to,
I
Scott.
love Summer Jam. Summer Jam is the best.
It was a lot of ruckus stuff. I remember I was texting you.
You were
when
texting me telling me there was a riot going on. I had no clue.
Yeah, because there was a lot of stuff being posted on Twitter and stuff like that, and there was some stuff going. I mean, the state police got called to Summer Jam.
Oh yeah, it got wild outside. I knew something was wrong when I looked up and saw a state police helicopter
Yeah.
hovering around the stadium. I knew somebody fucked up at that moment.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff because pretty much I think what people assumed was that there were going to be enough tickets for everyone. And then when that wasn't the case, people tried to get in,
Yeah,
take
man.
in and all sorts of things.
Let me tell you though, that place was packed.
Oh yeah, I mean it was
There
sold. It was
was-
sold out crowd.
Yeah, there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking to the top. Big shout out to Premio sausage. Ate a lot of that good shit during the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, not the game, Jesus, Summer Jam. But yo, man, people. 50 Cent was there, Method Man and Redman came out.
Nice.
Fat Joe came out. Lil
Kendrick
Ki-
was there.
Kendrick was there. Lil Kim came out.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So there was a lot of people there.
What type of people were at the Electric Forest?
It was so versatile. I mean, generally, Electric Forest, like obviously it speaks for more electronica music.
Right.
So there was
EDM.
EDM. It's definitely EDM advertised, but there was violinists. Like there
Wow.
was solo violinists, reggae music, jam bands. You can literally stand at any part of that forest and have an amazing time. Literally, when you get your ticket, they give you a card, and it says, set up a schedule, pick what you want to do, and then throw out your entire schedule and then do whatever comes to you.
Wow.
And honestly, in the beginning, I'm like, huh, what is this?
You definitely had some real hippies organizing this sort of festival with that sort of mindset.
Yeah, it's definitely hippie oriented, and hippies are everywhere, and people, it's just a vibe. It's like I received an entire different feeling.
It's more than a festival, it's an experience.
Yeah, and it's like they have their own type of lingo. Like, in the beginning, people are coming to us, and in the town, it's weird because it's like, it's such a small town that obviously this festival brings in a lot of income into the other, like, liquor stores, gas stations. Are you kidding me? Like,
wow.
it's different. And, you know, you get 40,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, 40,000 people into one little place. Everyone's benefiting from it.
Right.
Everybody in the area. And what's going on is that in the beginning, we tell them, like, they asked us, like, oh, you going to Electric Forest? We're like, yeah. And they're like, Happy Forest. And we're like, what?
So it's like a holiday up there almost.
Yeah. They tell you, they have a lingo, Happy Forest. And in the beginning, you know, coming from the tri-state area.
It starts to get really confusing at first.
Yeah, we're like, we don't even know what you're talking about. Because over here, like, considering Summer Jam, don't get me wrong, I bet it was an amazing time. But coming from the tri-state area, we have that aggression towards our own personalities.
Yeah.
Someone cuts us off, we're like,
whatever.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Someone cuts you in line, you're like, we're gonna
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like, get out of my way. Over there, it's like a free for all of peace.
So it's almost like,
And then
it's
people
like the stories you hear
there
from.
and fuck it up.
Yeah,
It's like the stories you hear about the original Woodstock.
Yeah,
almost,
it's
that
almost
there was no issues,
Yeah, you know what
fights.
I can compare that to, dude? Like when I go to Pennsylvania, right? Like I'm used to driving in Jersey, grew up driving in Jersey, so obviously Jersey drivers are very aggressive.
Extremely.
You
I
know,
am. I
when
can
the-
speak for myself.
Yeah, when the light turns green, what do?
Go.
We fucking go, okay? I was up in PA in like some farmland, you know, a lot of cows and horses and shit like that. Light turned green. There was like a big old pickup truck in front of me. It took like 3 or 4 seconds, right, for him to start going.
That's a long
Right,
time.
That's a long fucking time, right?
In North Jersey
so
terms.
in PA farmland, just shit luck, happened to be another light not too far away. He tried to pull this shit again, and I fucking honked, and he pulled over to the side. Let me go. Yeah, he let me go, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I look behind me, and he starts driving again. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, are we really in that much of a rush to the point where we're fucking other people up?
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you're just like when you see that person going really fast in the left lane of the highway, and it's kind of just like, well, normally you're that person, Scott. But
yeah, I drive fast.
Yeah, you see a lot of you see someone like rearing up behind you on the left lane of the highway, and that's the way the point. You go, okay, you go be your speed demon self. I'm gonna still go pretty fast. But
that just means I have shit to do.
Right.
But
exactly.
you see, like here, it's like we come from a very aggressive state.
Extremely.
That's a really funny metaphor.
Shut up and go is pretty much the term for us.
Yeah, we come from a very aggressive state. So going into this type of atmosphere is very, not even very, it's entirely different to the point where, like, it's so awkward to be generally nice to everyone you meet. And it's not, there's not even like a sign or a memoir. You can't prepare for this. It's just a feeling that you have and you're like, I have to be overtly nice to you or else I'm not really abiding by, like, the policy that I paid for.
It's like you almost become hostile.
Yeah, you know, like, I came here to Electric
people.
Forrest to be with you also, and we have to literally
coexist.
Yeah, we're coexisting. And it's so natural that it's awkward.
Right.
You know? Because it's like, if you cut me in line, you want to be like, yo, stop. But then you're like, oh, but it's okay.
Well, there was one altercation that you had mentioned to me.
Oh, yes.
At this Electric Forest earlier. And it's definitely fascinating. Would you care to share that?
Yeah, so in Electric Forest, there's a lot of individuality happening where people have flags of different countries, just different clans, you know, because you need to identify your camp, because you're camping in a secluded area.
Right.
Some people have to travel in a shuttle to get back to their campsite. Others, as of me, don't have to. We had a really big campsite, 120 people deep, Camp Wavy.
I still can't believe that you remember that many people.
120 people, Camp Wavy.
Right.
And so there was this guy who had a Confederate flag
Oh boy.
waving, and now you can take your flag and you can go into the forest and wave your flag during to the festival. But this guy brought a Confederate flag.
Especially considering the timing. This isn't like
Yes,
this isn't just any given, week. This
Most-
is like the Confederate flag is getting the most media coverage it's gotten since the Civil War.
Yeah.
This past couple weeks.
Most people felt like that guy was like testing us.
Right.
A lot of people they didn't feel
he was
threatened.
trying to anger people in a
but
sense.
it was like why are you doing this to us? This is not the place where you bring this type of energy to.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah, like everyone naturally knows, even coming from an aggressive, state, everyone knows that that's just not the right thing to do. And we all knew that, even if it was our first time being there.
Especially during the timing, you're doing it to try to
Yeah, you're
you're instigating.
Yeah,
you're
really.
instigating a situation.
So somebody punched that guy really hard in the face and made him take it down. And it was like a serious issue where, obviously the aggressor in this point where the person who punched the man in the face won.
Yeah.
Because that guy was wrong in all cases.
And and it seems that, in a place of peace and stuff like that, when you're
Yeah.
going to bring a flag that represents oppression and so many negative things, that it's definitely going to really, stir up a lot of negative energy that you don't want at that sort of festival.
100%.
Yeah.
It's not something that you really want. So tell me more about some of these interesting experiences that you had
was
at
really
the...
nice, and they going back to the idea of being in this forest. Meanwhile the forest is lit up. Everything is colorful. The trees, everything is just illuminated with color during the day. It's I was looking at the trees. Obviously, I was under the influence of safe supplements, but
Yes.
it was I was looking at these trees and they were green. I was like, is this tree green? Or is it the lights? Blue, purple, there were clouds. There were transparent boxes that these beautiful art installations.
So it's almost as if they put intentional things
It was
in there to mess with your head
Entirely
even more.
intentional. There was a book reading section where
Wow.
people who looked like squirrels reading books, and there was a bookshelf where
Wait,
you
hold on. You just said let's touch on that little thing. You just
people that look like squirrels?
yeah. She said you just ran into people that looked like squirrels.
They did. They painted their face in a fox squirrel.
So, and
They had a suit. It was if a squirrel was wearing a suit and was a person, it was that guy.
I guess here's one interesting thing to follow up with that is, what the hell were they reading?
Storybooks,
Better
child
question.
books. It was. I didn't really.
Hansel
pay-
and Gretel, Lost in the Forest.
It was Lost in the Forest. It was amazing. And halfway through it is don't get me wrong. It was in the beginning we had our mentality, our strong aggressive mentality.
Right.
And we're going about our everyday life as if it was a regular festival. This
Yeah.
is not a regular everyday festival. It's very different. There was a girl who, as we were going through the line, which took an hour and a half to get in.
Really.
So you want to pre-plan, you don't want to just.
You want to
do
be
it.
ready.
Yeah. Pre-plan to get into your campsite, who was I can't wait to get the forest the fuck out. And we're like, what are you talking about? Second day in the forest? Yo, we were forced the fuck out. We were. We were. It was crazy. You go into, so let's say you're waiting online to get into a venue.
Okay.
So everyone is there. Everyone's doing their own thing. And of course, the campsite is tailgating. So everyone's getting drunk and doing their own thing in their home, their camp.
Okay.
And now it's time at 4 o'clock to go into the campsite, to go into the forest. You get into the forest and then you have to go through a barricade to get checked. And through this barricade, everyone is just high-fiving each other.
Really?
Everyone's just high-fiving each other. And it's in the beginning, it's awesome because it's oh, the people in front of you are high-fiving. By the time you get to like the fourth barricade, because there's about like, let's say 6 of them, where you have to go around and around and around.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get to the fourth, the people that you're high-fiving in the front are the people that you high-fived when you began. And the people that you're high-fiving now, you high-fived at the third barricade.
Oh,
And you're just like looking at them like, hey, I just high-fived you, but I feel super obligated to continue to high-five.
so it just never ends.
Never ends. Everyone's just so happy, and the more that you high-five the same person, the more excited everyone gets.
I went
'Cause
through a lot of the same thing at Governor's.
You build a
Yeah.
connection with these people, like just like high fives. It was just so wild.
Everybody was about that plur life and shit like that, and giving out bracelets and all this crazy
Yeah.
crap. So
You see, like the plur life is definitely a big thing in Electric Forest, because I mean they do have that EDM scene, but without the actual candy bracelets that the plur life,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a plur thing that's within people. It sounds really lame, but like really, like you get that peace, unity, respect.
So
You feel it.
it kind of represents somewhat of a euphoric state of mind.
Yeah, like it's a whole different type of feeling that you get. It's like I felt like a different emotion when I was there that I have never like encountered anywhere else.
And you've been to a lot of festivals.
I've been to so many shows, so many festivals, and never in my entire life have I ever felt this like open and like free.
you get that feeling when you're at places like that. You know what I mean?
It's like crazy, and it was like what's crazy is that like we got lost.
Right.
Like the first day I walked in, I was lost. There's 40,000 people there.
Yeah, I'm sure even with 120 people, it's not easy to find your campsite.
I was lost. Campsite, friends. Campsite was easy. Friends are hard. And so there are hammocks left around the entire space. You can just sit on a hammock and everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's somebody else's hammock. I was sitting on a hammock, lost, and I was writing down notes.
Oh, well,
That's where I came up with the "I'm a robot."
yeah,
And I was like, "What am I talking about?"
that's when it gets to that final stage when it's like, okay,
You get to that point where you're like, "What is actually?"
I'm all forested out.
I am forested out for sure. And then all of a sudden, my friends come.
And they just suddenly appear.
When you lose your friends in this big forest full of a million things, there's so much of this forest that I haven't seen.
I always feel like it's that one moment, even whether you're in a bar, a club, doesn't matter. If you lose your friends and then they suddenly come back into the scene and you were in that happy state of mind, it is the greatest possible thing to happen
felt
to
like
you.
it was some weird energy thing that just brought us all together, and it was like crazy. We would be all on our individual path, and then it would just be like we would just come together.
That forest, man.
Yeah, but one of my favorite, like there was a tree where you can give things to the tree. You like, let's say you have.
So there was a giving tree in a sense.
There literally was a given tree where you give something to the tree and you can take something back if you wanted to. And it meant a lot to somebody. And one of my favorite moments with this tree was that my friend, Horda, I was there when he made this drawing. Then he watercolored the entire thing, laminated it, and I went to this tree and I saw some guy look around for all these things. Now there's a bunch of things all around this tree.
Okay.
And this man, I'm looking at him. He picks up my friend's drawing. He looks at it for 12 seconds and puts it in his bag. And I felt such a connection because I knew how happy my friend would have felt to see this guy personally pick out a bunch of things around the tree. There's other paintings, there's lighters, there's bracelets, there's pins, there's a million things at this tree. There's toys, I picked up a Pokemon card, Rapidash, yo, what's up, girl?
If it was a Charizard, sell that on eBay.
You know, holographic Charizards don't exist anymore. Smiz, you gotta get it with it. But he picked it up and it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally a real, unique experience in a sense to do an entire adventure like that. I mean, you're going all the way to Michigan in the first place. And by that point, I would just be completely just worn out with that. And then at that point, that's just when the party starts.
Yeah. My favorite part was that my friend Yamil, he found his dream job, which was being a bartender on a cruise ship. He always wanted to travel.
Okay.
So I had to find him a ride the last day, which was Sunday. He needed to find a ride Sunday morning. I got him a ride. The entire time, he was like the tour guide to Electric Forrest. And while we were listening to the band, while we were, just feeling the entire scene, and everything was just amazing. Everything was just so perfect.
Right.
If you can think of a time that's just so perfect, it's literally that moment. Like, really, it seriously is just a feeling that you feel, that you get. It's a feeling that you feel. Like that's
the feeling that you feel.
That's a weird saying, but that's literally what it is. And you just hear him I can hear him every day, and he's like, live your life, love what you do, and just be happy with what and those words in the middle of this forest.
Yeah, between everything else that's going on, it's got to just be the real coming together. Before we wrap it up here, do you got any more interesting stories to share?
Yes, I would like to give a shout out to my girl Bree. She lives in Morristown.
We're going for shout outs instead of stories.
Shout outs. No, it's a story and a shout out. Bree, she was gonna sell her ticket because her boyfriend broke up with her.
Okay.
Sad story. Beautiful girl, dumb guy. Really, dumb guy. He's retarded. Really. Whoever Bree's ex-boyfriend is stupid as fuck. But she posted online that she was going to sell her ticket. And a lot of people, Foresters is what they're called, went online and told her, don't sell your ticket. Go to Forest. Go do it. Like, don't miss out on this opportunity.
It's almost like, especially if you're going through something as hard as that, it's almost worse to skip out on such an experience.
Our group,
you're better off enjoying it.
Yeah, our group is called Camp Wavy. Right. And so we have a Camp Wavy Facebook, which just focuses more on like party aspects to like what we're gonna do. We tell you about the party that we're gonna go to.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So we were doing a Camp Wavy Electric Forrest group. So she found us through Facebook. She was all alone, and she was actually very hesitant.
So you didn't know this girl?
Did not even know her.
Okay.
She joined us. She came up from Morristown, met us, got into a car with one of my friends called John, drove all the way to Michigan with us. And she was like so perfect. It was like such a perfect match, to the point where that I been around these people for years. And I didn't even recognize her as a stranger.
That's interesting.
She was so, like, welcomed, and it was so natural for her to be with us.
She just became one of the 120 people in your camp.
Yeah, and it was so natural, to the point where that, at the end of the day, when we're all talking about it, she's like, you guys are the best people that we've ever met, and we're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We've never met you before. This is crazy. And she's like, you guys, I love you guys. You guys are the best. You guys are one of the best people that I've ever met. And from that time, it ended the 29th. She came back up from Morristown for 4th of July.
Wow.
She spent 4th of July weekend with us. And it's like crazy how like like I said, it's a euphoric feeling.
Yeah.
Where like it's a feeling of peace and freedom. And bringing it back to, like, the difference between whatever festival it was.
Summer Jam?
Summer Jam. My friend, jacked as hell, crazy, he looks crazy, started climbing a tree. Obviously, you can't do that. You can't just start climbing trees. The security guard came and looked up at him and was like, can you get down? Like, in a question.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, yeah, I could. And came down. They didn't question him anymore, and
there was no aggression in any of that.
No, and they were like, okay, thank you for coming back down from the tree. Try not climbing another one. Let's go. And it was just Bree is one of the best experiences.
That's
Bree and the horn guy. Oh, and Alex falling into horse shit.
Those are definitely some great stories, man.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
for sure.
it's literally the best, and I recommend this forest to everyone. Like, I see me and everyone who I went with going there for years to come. Like, I find myself growing old in this festival.
That's pretty cool, and it's always around your birthday weekend too,
Yeah,
which is
like,
always perfect.
I see myself getting old here.
Nice. That's pretty.
And it's of all ages, really.
That's great.
Because they have jam bands and hot air balloons. Dude, I can talk about it for hours. Hot air balloons. They have haircuts. Like,
Wow.
you can get a haircut there. What kind of festival gets you a haircut?
That's pretty crazy. But Christina Smith, I want to thank you very much
Thank you very much.
for joining us on this inaugural
Thank you
edition
guys so much.
of the Scott and Smiz show. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys are still with us here, and I hope you guys enjoy the great conversation today and the great conversations that follow. Of
Yeah.
course, Scott, you know the Facebook link, right? They can like us on our Facebook page.
Yes, they can. It's going to be at facebook.com/Scott and Smiz.
That's Scott and Smiz, and that's where we're going to be posting all these episodes, where you can catch up with us at any given time. And for the Scott and Smiz show, I am Anthony Smizaski.
And I'm Scott Lynn.
And your guest star, Christina.
And thank you once again for listening, and we'll be back next time.